Okay.
Hey, everybody, welcome again from the Page to the Stage Summit. I'm so glad you joined us. I'm so excited to have Mr. James Clayton in the house. He made it in. Thank you so much for being a part of the summit. And Mr. James is going to talk about go for it because this is the season for all of you who are here. I believe that this is an important time for you to be here because you are feeling in your spirit that this is the season to go for whatever it is you want to do, that dream, that vision, that goal that you want to accomplish, and you've been sitting on it, or you maybe not be sure of how to move forward. Then this summit is for you. And James is going to encourage you and inspire you and share some of his story and strategies of how he was able to do that. But before we get started, I just want to give a brief intro of who James is, and the rest of the information would definitely be in the email. So James Clayton is a writer, author, independent filmmaker. He also helps others publish their books. James believes that it is important to constantly grow and stay focused and true to your vision. And that's just perfect for this whole summit. Staying true to your vision because that's how you're truly happy. And nobody's, like I always say, nobody's saying to quit everything you're doing now, but there may be something else missing that you really want to do, but you just need that push. So we're here to push you and we're here to motivate you to operate in your purpose and passion. So James, thank you again for being part of the summit.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the introduction. That was very magnificent. I love it. Thank you.
And you probably got a lot more stuff going on because I see you out busy, but that's awesome. You know, you operate in your season. So I got to ask you a few questions,
Well,
okay? I
thank
just
you.
want you
Yeah,
to
I
expound.
have to.
Huh? I'm gonna let you take the
Oh
mic.
yeah, no, so I have to do it.
All right. First question is,
Okay.
how did you identify your why and purpose, and if you wrote those things down before you moved in them? Your why.
Well, my why. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. This is a very interesting story how I began writing. I actually played sports. So
Okay.
before I was a writer, I was an athlete. I played basketball, and a long story short, our basketball season ended early, and I was kind of hurt by that. When you're a competitive person like myself, you love
Yes.
to win at everything you do. So no matter what I do, I love to be the best and I love to win. Well, when we lost, I took that personal, and so on the way home from the loss, it was a long bus ride, and I met this beautiful young lady, and
Okay.
she was very, very articulate. And as we started dating, she used to tell me how she loved writers. So she was like, you don't have to be physically attractive, but if you're mentally smart and you know how to write, she thought you looked good. So I told myself, if I can learn how to write and get girls like that, I'm going for it. So
I love it.
so she was kind of like the inspiration to me writing because I wanted to get intellectual girls. And then from that point, whenever I felt happy, sad, any type of emotion, I always see myself writing. So
Wow.
it was more of a way kind of to express myself. It was therapeutic, and it was just a way to kind of control my emotions. And I did that every day. I kind of like developed habits of writing every day. And then creative stories started coming into my head. So I was like, oh, what will happen if I just kind of wrote about this? And I
Right.
kind of find myself engaged in the characters that I was writing about and
Okay.
loved every second of it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And sometimes it takes situations like that,
Mm-hmm.
but you had a good inspiration to get started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My high school student.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So that kind of got you into that purpose. Because what I share with people, and which you already know, sometimes we can have multi purposes or one thing lead to the next thing, like you
Yeah.
writing it. And the next thing you know, you'll probably move into that filmmaking thing because that all ties together, writing scripts and everything. But my next
Mm-hmm.
question is, what challenges did you face when you was trying to, get your thing off the ground, whatever level you was trying to move into?
Yeah, I'll answer that question two ways.
Okay.
So for the book writing, the challenge that I faced for the book writing, one was how do I publish a book when I'd never done it before? So it was just like doing the research, doing the homework on how much it would cost to publish a book, how much time that it will take, what's the things that I need to make sure all my material and my intellectual property was taken care of.
Right.
So that aspect was kind of like doing the research on that because I had nobody else to go to was a little bit challenging. And once I figured that out, and I figured like the process and the steps how to self-publish, it took about a year. So from when I wrote my book to figuring out the process and the everything that I needed to do to self-publish was about a year. And the second part I will answer with film. The major hurdles that I had with film was, with anything, was money. It's like, how do you get the money to pay the actors, get the camera, get the equipment, get the locations, get everybody involved, like from the sound crew to the light crew to the actors, actresses, to the makeup team, to the wardrobe, to everything. You still have to pay for locations, all that, and food, and housing. So I was like, how do I budget all of that?
Right.
You know, I was a college student. This is 4 years ago. I was just getting ready to graduate. So, you know, but like they say, when there's a will, there's a way. So if you're very determined and you're motivated, you will find a way to make it happen one way or another. So getting the money to kind of fund my first film was a major hurdle. And, you know, through the grace of God, we made it happen.
That's awesome. Did you do fundraising around it, or like a Kickstarter type thing, or?
No, well, I guess what happened was a guy who knew me through college had the resources that I was looking for.
Okay.
Because I had written Under Success. I was writing another book, and he had heard about me. And, you know, he came to me. He said, you know, James, I see you like to write books. And, you know, I was like, yeah. He asked me, he said, have you ever written a movie? And I was like, actually, I have written a movie. And so he said he wanted to schedule a meeting that following. I will never forget it. So he wanted to schedule a meeting that following Wednesday. He was like, yo, James, we're going to Wednesday at 1 p.m. at this location. And I was like, I didn't know who he was like that. Right. But something told me that he was serious about what he was doing. Right. So that week, I was like, man, this could be a big break for me. So that Wednesday, I met him at 1 p.m. and he read the first 5 pages of my script, stopped reading. He said, did you write this? I was like, yes. He was like, he asked me again. He was like, did you write this movie? I was like, yes. He was like, we're going to fund it and we're going to make it happen. So he was the one he was the one that kind of put it together for my first film. And that gave me a lot of confidence, and it just kind of, everything came together after that. So, you know, like I said, when there's a will, there's a way. So God always makes a way.
Yes.
When you're consistent, it's like, you know how you was talking about manifestation.
Yeah.
So there's a thing like where you could speak life into a situation.
Right.
So if you really do something, if you think it and if you keep saying it and your actions match up what your thoughts are, it will happen eventually. It has to. It will. You know, like they said in the Bible, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, and that's true.
It's so true.
And faith without works, you can't. But you know, here's the thing though. You can't just have faith without work. You still have to work in, even if you have the faith. So let your actions match your thoughts.
That's awesome, because I'm constantly telling you people, show up, start the process, breathe into it, speak. When you speak life into it, it's the same what James was talking about, the scripture, speak things that be not as though they were, and speak it into existence. That's you applying your faith with your actions. You doing what you need to do, because I always talk about positioning yourself to be blessed, positioning yourself for favor. You never know who God is going to use. And so you got to get started. You can't worry about the means, what you don't have. You have to be a risk taker. And if you really are a believer in God, he will have you feeling you out there like, okay, what's going to happen? But then he do with Abraham, go into a place and I'm going to show you what kind of mess is But I love it, because when you develop that trust and faith, you already know God is going to open up. I ain't got to worry about the end. I ain't got to look at all that. Let me just get started in doing something. And so that's awesome. And see, that's a strategy, faith and action right there. And sometimes it's not even that deep. Getting started. That was so awesome.
Yeah.
So my next question is, I want to know your mindset. How did you shift your mindset to take your vision from the page to the stage? Did you have to transition and you mentioned some it was your faith, like believing in the word and applying the word to your faith and everything. But what mind shift did you have to take?
I call it hard work and dedication. You gotta have that mindset that can't nobody stop me. Can't nobody, you know me. Like I'm here for a purpose. I'm about to get, you know, it's like I have an ambitious. If I want it, I'm gonna get it. I don't care how long it's gonna take. I don't care what the obstacles or the hurdles are. I'm
Right.
about to be relentless on it. And if you ever read Underdog's Way to Success, you'll realize I had that as a kid. Like I had that type of attitude, mentality as a kid. What I got, and I hate to say this, but this happened to me 3 times. I got cut from my 5th grade team, I got
Wow.
cut from the 6th grade team,
Okay.
and I got cut from the 8th team. And I was so mad that I felt like I was as good as the other 5th graders. I felt like I
Right.
was good as the other 11 and 12-year-olds. So that whole summer, I spent day and night practicing playing basketball until I got it right. And then when I tried that next year, I was like, I'm making the team. I ended up being the leading scorer and a leading stealer on the team for the basketball team. So for me, the mentality that I have and that I carry with me is that I'm going to get it. I don't care who's with it. If I have to do it by myself, it's gonna get done. Like just having that passion, I call it that inner desire,
Yes.
hard work, dedication, perseverance,
Right.
belief, and just the number one thing is consistency.
Yes.
Staying consistent, because it doesn't happen right away.
Right.
It doesn't happen overnight. But the more consistent you are, the better off you're gonna be.
So that's why I can see why you're saying, you believe in staying true to your vision, not moving. And that's the mindset you need to be in, not waiting for other people to join you. Do it regardless. If you got to do by yourself, knowing that God will send people to help you, support you, and whatever. And sometimes, I don't know if you experienced this, sometimes you have certain people that you might expect to go with you. And it's like they weren't meant to go with you. And you have to be okay with that because it's something you have your own destiny. And there's people that's assigned to help you only. You find that out on your journey, and it just really increases your faith more and more. And you're right, consistency is key. Not giving up, even if things come and deter us a little bit. You still staying true to your vision. You still say, "I'm going to do this." I love that mindset. Some people call it being stubborn, but I don't know if you want it. It's really just being steadfast and unmovable and focused. If you want to call it stubborn, call it stubborn. Whatever it is, that's what you needed to do to see things materialize. So I can imagine when you first, I do want to talk about your book though. You finished any films that you completed? All of your film work?
Yeah. I completed I 3 short films. So the first movie is called What Do You Want Part 1?
Okay.
What Do You Want Part 2? Better Than Your Average. And so like those are the films that I wrote, produced, and direct myself. The movies that I also just shot and produced were it was a movie in California called A Mind Pyramid. I also worked on another movie called what was the movie called? Urban Mormon. So I worked on a lot of movie projects and I traveled.
Okay.
Yep. And I got a lot of stuff in the works. Yep. As far as bigger budget and just getting things together. So it's coming together. So for 4 years, I've done a lot of projects for the film. So I've been into movies and directing the last 4 years. And I want to say hopefully 2018, 2019. And I'm saying this on air because I believe myself. I know, I know it's going to come true. Everything that I've done so far has come to pass. So, I've been saying this by 2019, I'm going to have for a weekend the #1 film in the world.
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I will believe with you. So we almost about to wrap it. I want you to talk about your book though. I saw the book. I went on Amazon, but I want you to talk about that book and tell people where they can get it at. Oh, how many of books you got written?
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, she's talking about Underdog's Way to Success.
Yes.
And you can purchase that on Amazon, Amazon.com. You can purchase it at Barnes & Noble. You can reach me at Facebook, James Clayton. Facebook, dash James Clayton, and get a autographed copy, paperback, hardcover from myself if you want that way. But if you just want to purchase the paperback or the hardcover through Amazon or Barnes & Noble, you could just go to Barnes & Noble and Amazon, type in Underdog's Way to Success. A picture of myself should pop up, and how to purchase the book should be there. So, it's not that difficult to get a hold of. It's an excellent read. The book is very near and dear to my heart. And the purpose of that book was to kind of highlight other people's stories. So, we always see a lot of people's successes, but we necessarily don't see their trials and tribulations that they have to go in order to reach that pinnacle. And so usually people think that, oh, this person's successful, they had an easy road. But if you look at their story is probably similar to yours, but they never gave up. And I talk about like the things that we have, like how me and you are able to communicate through a device. Somebody had to think of that.
Yes.
Somebody was like, what if we created this electronic device, and you could be in this state, I could be in that state, or we could be far apart and still be able to communicate with each other like instantly, simultaneously, like live in action.
Yes.
So before that ever happened, imagine telling people that you could be in Africa, I could be in China, and we could still talk to each other live. That's crazy. Or I could send you a message directly and you'll get it instantly. Or we could fly airplanes, or we could whatever. Like, the human mind is capable of so many different things. Like, look at everything that we have in the universe, and look at all that we've created, and God has given us the ability to do endless things. So you have to believe in yourself to know a core. And even if it doesn't happen right away, it does not mean it won't happen eventually if you stay true. So, I just look at everything around me and I say, hey, if they could create that, and they have the guy, they were born and they everything like I was, I know I could do it too. And, I would say that this is my theory on things, right? So if, this is kind of, we'll keep this PG, but this is the honest to God truth. It happened to everyone who's breathing right now. We all had to go through this process. I don't care what religion you are, what faith you are. We all had to go through this one process in order to be alive. Now, they say this is deep. Now they say for sperm cells, right? There's 10 million sperm cells. When somebody does, out of 10 million sperm cells, one fertilizes the egg. So you are 1 in 10 million. All the things that tried to kill you in order to reach your egg, you beat all the odds, you beat everybody else out, and you were the one that made it to the actual egg, and now you are breathing. So, like, the fact that you beat all those odds, you're here for a reason. We all have a purpose. So what I'm saying is to say that we all have a purpose, even if we don't know what our purpose is. So once you figure out your purpose, just please, because God has blessed everybody with some type of talent. I don't care what it is. We all have that God-given gift. And just like figuring out what your talent is, what your purpose is, go for it, and trying to work towards it. And hopefully your purpose, you can make other people's lives better, and you can help, whether it's bringing a smile to people, whether it's you're good at listening to people or giving advice or whatever your purpose is. If you could do that and you're helping other people, your fellow humans out, what better way than to utilize your purpose for good.
Wow, that was inspirational, James. It just inspired people to remind them that you're here for a purpose because, like you said, you made it here. So therefore, there's something for you to do, and just figuring that out is, the process. And sometimes that happens with, like you said, collaborating with other people in other countries. You may not have support around you, but there's other people you can link to. So even with you said modern technology, I mean, like, there's no excuses now. It's really not. It's easier today to do stuff independent than it was years ago when you had to go through somebody or you had to know somebody. You don't have to know anybody locally. You just got to show up, like James said, and just expect, doors to open up, opportunities to open up. And that's all it takes. It's not rocket science. It's not that hard. It's not hard at all, really. It's just you being consistent. That may be people's challenges. Learn to be persistent, not procrastinate. Like you said, people go through trials and tribulations, but you be in the right room with the right people. That's what this summit is all about. Get you going, get you started. Not waiting for somebody to give you permission. All that great stuff. James, that was so good. You inspired me. That was awesome. I want to thank you again for being one of my speakers. Hopefully we do something in the future. God bless you and everything everything that you find your hands to do. I pray that God will make it prosper. And I'm believing with you because I'm going to see your films one day. So we're going to say bye.
Yes. Okay. Thank you I said thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for what you're doing for other people like myself, and kind of, giving us a platform to kind of, express ourselves. So I really appreciate that. And thank you for having me. It's great. I would love to kind of keep this conversation going and stay in touch with you.
I love that too.
Yep. So
Thanks everybody
Yeah.
for joining in. We're gonna see you in the next broadcast with the next speaker. So don't forget, with this state, just be somewhere where you got some good Wi-Fi. Use any device so you won't miss none of the speakers, because all of them are phenomenal. And remember, it's time for you to move your vision from the page to the stage. Take care, everybody.
Mhm.